So what happened, Jim? Right, I've been waiting for you to start,
Mate.
and now when we do start, Tank's disappeared. Tank is
Good.
now not even on the podcast.
That's...
I've got a new bit of pussy.
We are. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that one for the dads.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
you can't is it a boy or a girl?
Boys, listen.
Brian, innit?
Meet Brian.
Brian. All right, Brian, lad. For Tank, describe for people that are listening and not watching who Brian is.
Brian's my new pussy.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, hello. Let's get a photo of this. Hold on.
Brian. See, even Brian. Alan ain't, even Brian ain't your Tank.
Go on, Brian, lad. There we go.
Desperate to get away.
How's he getting on, mate? He sent us a video there of him attacking poor Reggie there the other day. Are they friends now?
Reggie's there, just staring at me. Reg, come here. Come see Brian.
Okay. Dr. Doolittle over here.
Yeah, let's get another photo. All right, Reggie, lad. Gonna make you Insta famous. Oh, there he is. Big yawn for the lads there. He lives a hard life, that dog, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a belter. This Brian's a belter. Oh, mate, look at him.
Mate, I'll be. It's a very, very pretty looking cat.
It is a nice cat, lad.
Nice, He doesn't look like a Brian.
Nah.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
Well, me.
Well, yeah, I know that, you knob. I mean, why did you decide, Brian?
It was either Brian or Eric.
Okay.
I don't think any of them made
like those names.
No, it's not. It's just, imagine being in a vet and the vet shouting, "Can you see Brian?" It's like...
To be fair, I am a big fan of human names. Dave the dog, like
Steve.
I'm trying to get me. I'd love a dog or a cat, but my missus is just having none of it. And I think I've said this to you before. I think it's because
like having another kid, though, innit? Like it's just it restricts you even more.
Yeah, but kids can be dickheads at times, whereas animals are just sound to you all the time.
I'm not on about behaviour. I'm talking like if you want to go anywhere, you got to sort the kids out and sort your bloody cat out as well, and dogs.
Honestly, God, Jimmy, we just throw him in his cage and he just, with his litter tray, he just sleeps.
For a week? Why you fuck off why you all fuck off? Stick there, Brian, with your litter tray, lad.
When we go away, my mum and dad stay here, so it's just to say, look, he's just sat on the knee, he's a fucking belter, look. Look at Brian there. He's loving life.
Oh,
nice zoom in on Tank's plums there. Thanks for that one, mate. Go on, the boy.
Bit of pussy by the plums. Bit of blue for the dads.
Bit of blue for the dads.
Blue, Alan. He's blue.
Lads, I want to get before, because obviously it's international week and international football is a little drab. We'll get into that in a sec. I want to get your thoughts while I've got you both on YouTube boxing. Tank, you like the old, the boxing and MMA and combat sports in general. What did you make of it over the weekend?
I just thought it's actually it's sad for like up and coming young boxers who are trying to make the way in the game, who've got genuine talent and ability. You know, me when I look at boxing, I've been to so many like live fights all over the world. I love it, absolutely love me boxing and me MMA. But lads, if you are a young up and coming lad now it's a lonely place in the boxing ring, by the way. It's just you and your opponent knocking fuck out of each other. It's got to be one of the most toughest, brutal sports ever. And if you're a young lad now trying to make your way and you've got to sell tickets to put bums on seats to get paid to get to fight. It's only, I remember listening to Tony Bellew and it was only like the last probably, I think he was saying 6 or 7 fights in his career is when he earned like big money. And, you know, he's been a top fighter for 10 years. But then you're watching these clowns who, they can't fight. I mean, let's get it right. They can't fight. That Dylan Danish, I think he's an absolute helmet anyway. Like, he's on Twitter, you look him, and he's got to be the hardest man in the world. And I've never seen him fight anyone. And then I never paid for the fight. I refused to watch it. The clips what I've seen. My dead nan had beat him now in a fight, Dylan Danish. I swear to God, I could dig my nan up and she beat him. He is that bad. And then you look at this KSI. Tommy Fury needs to retire because he's not a boxer. He's just a long-armed kid. He can't fight. He actually, from what you look at, he got beaten in a fight. But it's embarrassing and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. But then how does it when it's generating God knows how much money for these clowns?
And that's the thing, isn't it, Jim? They've kind of, and I agree with Tank wholeheartedly. You look at young up and comers, and it's certainly I wouldn't be familiar with the boxing side of things, but for MMA, you could be looking at 15 grand to show for the fight and 15 grand if you win. And I think I saw in a news article that I think it was Tommy Fury got, Dylan Dennis got £1 million quid for his fight. So if you're comparing the numbers, and if you're looking at these promoters, have they just been able to tap into something here where it's the new generation of people that see these online personas, the KSIs, and they're just trying to monetize it? And A, can you blame them as businessmen? But then second of all, is it only boxing that's going to suffer, or do you think that this could be a win in the long term?
I think you're seeing the way that people access their sport, to be fair. So I'm with Tankin that Dylan Dennis has been giving it big licks for the last 6 months on Twitter. And I was thinking, because isn't he
like you when we used to play FIFA, Jim? You used to give it the big one, and then I'd give it
and win. Yeah, I mean, I'll happily play it on a televised game, but so that's a different thing. But he's giving it big licks. You think he's got a bit about him? Isn't he like a jiu-jitsu champion or judo champion or something?
He's excellent at jiu-jitsu now. He hasn't competed for a while, but he is like elite level at jiu-jitsu. But obviously,
you'd assume he'd have something about him, right? You don't become a jiu-jitsu. But in the fight that I saw, he's literally just got his hands up and trying to run away. So that to me is awful. I think KSI can box, and I think a couple of these YouTubers can actually box. I've got no issues with it, and it's actually providing a platform for people if they want to get on the undercards to earn some money. The MMA stuff, that's on MMA, right? That's the MMA's fault that they're getting only 15 grand and 15 grand for whatever it is that they're getting paid. So I have no issues with them doing it. I have issues when you can't actually box and you're getting paid £1 million for nothing, and you're getting the lead up, because that will deter people from boxing. But boxing deters people from boxing because of everyone ducking everyone else. So you finally getting to see Fury fight Usyk eventually. Everyone's ducked the big fight. So I think people switch off, but you are seeing it into other sports. My son watches a lot of the charity matches that the sidemen play against YouTube All-Stars, and he'll watch that more than he'll probably watch the Premier League, because the Premier League's boring. I mean, I was watching
Josh did that. My lad did the same, and there was someone in goal, something dragon, and I was like,
Cal the Dragon.
I'm like, Joshua, turn this absolute honestly, Tank. It's like the football version of that boxing. This lad, Cal the Dragon's in goal. He's like a Sabutio goalie. His arms are stuck. Oh my god,
it's awful. But they watch it, and that's what that's not impacting any of the sport is in football. But the issue you've got is, I started watching. We watched the footy, and I let Archie stay up because he wasn't very well and he had to sleep in the day. So I let him stay up for the first half. I'll be honest, it was boring, lads. They're just sideways passing. There's not much excitement. And then you watch these YouTube videos, and it's like 85-8 in schools and stuff, and they're getting more. They're getting the more. I guess it's what age they start to appreciate the actual football, isn't it? So,
well, yeah, I think Jimmy's onto something there, though. I think Jimmy's onto something there, though, Tank, because, and I have it with Josh now. Like, he's 11, so he's slightly older than Archie. What's Archie now, Jim?
9.
He's 9, isn't he? And like, Josh will watch games with me, but the idea of, to be fair, I tried to get him to watch Ireland with me the other day, and Dad had sent a glass eye to sleep. It was absolutely, I said, look, mate, go and play FIFA upstairs. This is shite. But like Jimmy said something there, and we'll come on to it, the England game. It is a bit boring. Like, it is very flat. The stadium itself is a bit flat. I don't know if this is a football-wide problem, because you have it, Tank, with some of the big clubs now. You go to Anfield, and no one wants to talk about it. But you go to Anfield in the games that Liverpool are meant to win, the atmosphere isn't great. Like, it's not bouncing. And I think it was Florentino Perez said something a while ago where he was like, we're not attracting the young to come and watch football. You could get them to sit for 90 minutes and watch a 0-0 game. The kids aren't going to be asked about that. And he's talking about making it into quarters and shorter attention spans. Now, I think that's a step too far. But there is something where probably isn't. Oh, Reggie, go on, lad.
Jesus. The issue you got from me is the tactic, because no one wants to lose now. So everyone wants to keep the ball for 80% of the game and win 1-0. So it's all well and good. Like, it needs to have something where, I don't know, and I don't want it to happen. You don't want football to change, but there's a reason why most people watch 2020 as opposed to Test match, because Test match is a long old slug. Whereas 2020, it's fast, it's exciting. You've got to get your scores, and it's in, and people will watch that more than they'll watch the Test match. I can't get my son to sit and watch a footy match for me because he'll just get bored. I took him to the FA Cup final, and he was bored after 10 minutes because it was shit. It was a shit game. It was awful. No one wanted to lose, and it was boring. And I've fucking forked out 300 quid for it, and he'll never want to go again.
What do you make of it all, Tank?
Well, I don't think the Premier League, but I just think that's more of an age thing with your son, Jimmy. The young lads, it's hard to, like, Frankie's 5, and I can't get Frankie to sit down and watch a movie. That's just the way kids are. I think that's just the attention span. I don't think that's got anything to do with the Premier League football. I'll be brutally honest with you, lads. I may come across a bit controversial, but
not like you.
No, but I have not watched any of the England games. So if we're going to talk about it, I can't help you, because this is the similar thing what I say to you lads about women's football. I've got nothing against women's football, and I hope it goes on and grows and grows and grows. It's woeful. It's substandard. It's poor, and I won't spend my time watching it. Similar that I won't spend my time watching clowns on YouTube fighting so-called people and boxers. And it's the same as international football. I've got no interest in it. I don't like watching it. It bores me so much, and that's just the way it is. But it's like, there's got to be some sort of cut-off point, and I don't know how it's going to be, because boxing has to somehow. I agree with what Jimmy's saying. Boxing's got to redevelop itself, because these YouTube, I mean, by all accounts, I've seen that. Jack showed me some clips of this KSI getting out of a green Lamborghini with some rapper singing, and it did look like a proper show. And you're like, that looks good, then. But then obviously the actual fight is comical. The problem what boxing's got now, and why these YouTubers are getting all the traction they are and getting the money and making all of these fucking, I mean, the views are meant to be insane with the buys, by all accounts, is our big boxers, the big boys, they all duck each other, they don't want to fight each other. I mean, you've got like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, who's been meant to fight for the past decade and probably will never fight. Jimmy was just saying then that Usyk and Fury's done.
That will go. They won't fight. I don't think they'll fight.
I think 90% of me is thinking that's never going to happen. Something will happen where it pulls. Like, why is Fury fighting this UFC heavyweight champion?
Ngannou.
Yeah. I'm not being funny. Ngannou was like a monster who, if he hits you, will knock anyone out. Fury's just going to jab his head off.
It's pure money, though, isn't it? It's pure money. That's what he's doing it for. It's just pure money, because they know that that's going to get the views.
Is you got to go now, like, listen, this is becoming, they need to stop giving these licenses to box. If they want to go and do in another format, go and do it. But these YouTube and shit stuff like that, they're killing many sports.
And this is the thing, because at the end of it, it's the perfect response, and this is what, and you knew it was coming when Dylan Dennis was going to lose that fight. He went, well, I've made a load of money now.
Yeah.
So, and that seems to be the response of like, oh, I don't give a bollocks if I look stupid. I've took $1 million. And I don't know if you're like me. I sit in with my missus sometimes. Let's say you're at a party, and it's like, what would you do for $1 million? And I'd be honest, lads, I would do pretty much anything for $1 million. So there's probably that element to it. So Tank, considering you didn't watch the England game, I'm going to come to Jimmy for the first part of the question, and I'll come to you to the second part. Jim, obviously, look, international football, we've said it's a little drab. It's not the most exciting in the world, but there was two players that we got to talk about. And number one is the obvious. It's Jude Bellingham, and just how good he is. I think I seen a stat, or I think I shared it the other day, of like the 10 or 11 games he's played this season. I think he's pretty much got man of the match in every single one of them. So I want to get your thoughts on Jude first. And then second of all, does Harry Kane get the credit that he deserves of just how good of a finisher he actually is?
So for me, I'll be honest, I switched off at half time and said I was bored.
Fuck's sake, lads. We're on a football podcast with two lads.
Mate,
one hasn't watched it and the other turned it off halfway through.
It was boring, mate. It was pure boring. And to be fair, Archie'd been sick all night, so I had pretty goose-like. But so I watched the first half, and I'm going to say something controversial. I thought Jude Bellingham was awful. Not awful. That's not I didn't think he was very good. As in, I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm just saying that particular game against Italy, I don't think he played that well the first half. So unless he's had an absolute barnstorm of a second half, I don't see where this, unless everyone else was as worse than him and he's got man of the match. I thought he was giving the ball away. I thought he was. What I do like, he was never shirking, so he was never giving up. He was always after the ball, trying things and doing things that other people probably wouldn't want to do and can't do. So I did like that. But I'll be honest, I didn't think,
it was different second half, to be fair.
Was he? Probably because he knew I switched off.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me with him is it's the everyone talks about the maturity, but if you see you've probably seen the goal where he's back on the edge of his own box, he wins the tackle, then he's up, he's driving forward, he flicks it over someone's head, then he picks it, and he seems that player. And I don't like the comparison because I think we compare players too much these days, but he reminds me of in that driving, the way Gerrard used to drive his team on, the way Vieira used to drive Arsenal on in those kind of galloping driving runs. And the strangest thing is every team that he's gone into, so England with senior players, Real Madrid with unbelievable senior players that have won everything, it's like they all look to him now to create stuff. Which, Tank, you've been in dressing rooms over the years, and there's one place that's ruthless. It's a football dressing room. You can spot an imposter a mile off. That tells you everything you need to know about the player, that he seems to demand that respect at such a young age.
Yeah, but you see snippets coming out about Dortmund where he rubbed a few of the players up the wrong way, didn't he? And I just think that's because the standards are that high. I mean, I've got to be honest, like we talk about the comparisons to Gerrard, and you could compare him to many other greats of the game. None of them are at this level at his age. Nowhere near it. I mean, Gerrard was as raw as they come, but I think it was like 22, 23, 24 when the peak Steven Gerrard, you started going, wow, this lad's special. This lad's been doing that for 2 years. He's only just turned 20. And I'm looking at him now and thinking, he could actually be the best by a long distance English player to ever play football.
He's the best player in the world right now. I'll give him that.
He's got to be any. You look at what I find astonishing is he's gone to Real Madrid. It was a fucking huge club. The spotlight on him over there is absolutely insane. And then you look at the size of the transfer fee, and it's like he's playing fucking Sunday football. He scored about 9 goals in 10 games. He's assisting. He's running the show. And you're like...
And he's not even playing in his best position. He doesn't like it. He said it himself. The 10 is new to him. It's not the position that he prefers. And you say something there, Tank, is a very good point, because I actually think you find the same with Declan Rice. You notice, Jim, that nobody talks about the price tag for Bellingham and nobody talks about the price tag for Declan Rice because they've both just stepped in and started to deliver straight away.
Get on with it, don't they? And you know what they actually are as well, and I can't say this for many other players because I don't know, and I don't know this for them. I'm only can go on what I see, but they seem dead sound. Do you know what I mean? They seem like good lads, so they've gone in, 100-odd million, bossed it, done what they do, and are still dead sound. Like everyone gets on with them, so you've not got a lot to shoot them down for. Whereas, someone like, let's just say, the fidget spinner Anthony, like he doesn't seem very well. Obviously, ask his missus. He's obviously not very sound. Allegedly. But this is the thing, isn't it? They're just getting on with it. The price tag is a price tag. If you just do what you need to do, 50 quid or 500 million quid, you're just a footballer playing football, and that's what they've done. That's what I love about it.
Well, I don't think that though, for me, because I think the big thing as well is they've delivered.
Yeah.
They've delivered. They've come with the pressure. And I know what you mean about the two of them, Jimmy, because they come across, they're always laughing and joking. I love Declan. He's always just smiling, like if you're fouled and he's laughing as if
he's one of the lads, and he'd be one of the lads still, no matter what he achieves.
But they're both of them to deliver. They're both young lads, particularly Bellingham, going to the biggest club in the world, arguably. Like, the spotlight's insane, and he's just gone in. It's like he's playing football in the Sunday park with his mates, just loving life, having a laugh and the time of his life. It's scary. It's scary what he's achieving. God knows where he'll be. I'll tell you the only thing what someone, I seen a tweet about it the other week, and it was about Hazard. And you're kind of looking at him, and you just hope that he has a long, sustainable career, because he's played a lot of games for the age. He's only just turned 20, and he must have played 200 games.
You could say probably to some degree. Now, it sounds ridiculous to say this, having finished at the time as United's all-time scorer and England's all-time scorer, and I think with Rooney as well, probably lifestyle. He probably didn't look after himself as well as Bellingham would, but you do worry. Look at it happened with Michael Owen. I know he had issues with his hamstrings, but this overplay, and I've seen a stat, I'd love to be able to quote it, but the amount of games that Bellingham has played comparative to other people at his age, like they're putting a lot on the lad. And we know, we've spoke about it on this podcast before, the number of games isn't going to get smaller anytime soon. You've only seen the reaction to, and actually it's come to me, I'll get your thoughts on that actually, the Virgil van Dijk.
Two
comments.
seconds though, before you say that, like what I actually, and again, what I appreciate from Southgate, and I know not everyone's his biggest fan, and I'm not particularly, but the game against Australia just rested all the players that have played so many games. His first, his normal first XI, because he's gone, I can't play
stupid
them.
Game though, Jim. Like, why are we playing that game?
It is a stupid game, but also that's what everyone else is doing. It's not like we can't just go out. We'll just wait for the World Cup qualifier. We've got the time. We may as well play. But what he's actually done is give other people an opportunity to play. They didn't need to play that match. Your Bellinghams, your Kanes, because they're playing a lot of football anyway. So I like that he actually rotated that and didn't really give a shit going, well, this is what I'm going to do. And then on Tuesday, all my first team come back in and you can have a good week's rest, really.
What did you make of the Van Dijk comments, Tank? Because obviously he's obviously talking about the players are being flogged, right? They're playing too many games. They need a rest. The thing that I agree with him, right? I do agree with him. But the thing that annoys me is the go-to response is, well, you want to try working a shift on a building site. Bloody this, that, these players don't know they're born, blah, blah, blah. Like, we know they make a lot of money, but you need to park that for a second, in that we're talking about elite athletes that are being, the demands on them to perform. You can't have an off day now, Tank. It's not like in your day where, there wasn't really social media around. No, hold on, bear with me. I'm getting somewhere.
How many off days did you have, like?
But no, what I mean is, social media now, if look at what happened to Darwin Núñez. He missed a shot in training, for fuck's sake, and all of a sudden he's being lambasted as an absolute spoofer, and it's ridiculous. So you're one bad game away from being labelled something. Kids don't get the opportunity to grow into the shirt now. You've got to come in and play well, and otherwise you shunt it. So these players, they're not allowed to have a 7 out of 10 where they might be feeling a bit knackered, Tank, but they're expected to perform, and eventually they fall off a cliff. So I think you need to park the money bit, but people just seem so intent on they get a load of money, so they just got to get on with it. And what do you make of it all?
The money thing's always done my head, and it's completely irrelevant. If you're exceptional at your job, you get paid what you're worth. So that's the money. Idiots who shout about money are not very bright, are they? The problem what I have now, from when I played back then, is we always had a good summer. We always had a good summer recuperation. These lads don't. These top players don't. So
Magaluf for 3 weeks, was it?
We just used to go, listen, we used to just go, I used to have 4 weeks of just doing what the fuck I want, eat what I want, drink what I want, go on holiday, come back for a week before you go, and then you kind of like get the bin back on, sweat, go back, but then you got pre-season. But I had 4 weeks of zero, nothing. The whole body's recovering. You can't do that now because you've got especially the top players, they have the international footballs, they have the World Cup, the qualifiers, then they have the World Cup. I mean, the World Cup's only just finished. Now we've got the Euros in the summer. So where we had the breaks for the week in the leagues, we're now having England friendlies. You've got this fucking stupid, pathetic league. Well, I don't even know what the point is. That daft international league thing. So FIFA are just loading more and more and more to get their generation of money in. We said that you can't. It's all money with FIFA, isn't it? So really, what they need to do is they need to nip in the bud all of these pointless international friendlies. Just have the World Cup and the Euros. But then, as you say, there can't be a drop-off. The players nowadays can't have, like, Virgil van Dijk has played 2 games for Holland this week. He's coming back. He's probably got back today to Liverpool. He's in training tomorrow, and then he's got a 12:30 kickoff. There's no thought process for the players. Like, Liverpool's got quite a few South Americans. They're not going to get back till late tonight. And then they're going to be in training tomorrow and they're expected to perform. Now, if Nunes plays in the derby on Saturday, after being a superstar for Uruguay against Brazil, last night was it? And then and as you say, he misses a chance against Everton. They're going to go, shit, look at him, look at laughing emojis and all of this. But he's wrecked. He's wrecked. So there's got to be some sort of common ground where you'll either reduce the games in the Premier League or adapt to the time. Like, what harm would it be to have the Premier League play on Sunday this week, all game Sunday? Give them an extra day recuperation and preparation for the game. You know, I just don't, especially this country, I don't think we help our own league and our own players to be at the peak condition at all times. It's like, fuck you. Sky needs you to play at 12:30 on a Saturday afternoon, and that doesn't matter how you are or what the players are feeling. It's going to make us money.
And Tank makes a good point there. And you hear it, Jim. I think it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said it in the past. Pep Guardiola said it. Klopp said it, but he's always labelled a moaner. These managers, like Liverpool there, for example, have to play the 12:30 kickoff. Now, I'm going to give you a fucking stat without my conspiracy hat. Well, actually, I'm going to put it on because it's ridiculous, lads. Jim, mate. Right. So here we go. So Liverpool now play Everton in the 12:30 on Saturday, right? Which will be their 13th 12:30 kickoff after an international break. The closest to that is Spurs with 6, and they've just had their City game moved to make that a 12:30 kickoff, which will make it the 14th game that Liverpool have to play. Now, look, aside from the piss take, that is a big bag of shite. If Klopp says anything, he's deemed a moaner. All Klopp's asking for is put us on the 5:30, lads. Darwin Núñez was literally on a plane. The South American lads were Alisson, McAllister, Darwin Núñez. They're saying Darwin Núñez won't start now against Everton because he had a bit of cramp at the end of the game against Brazil. So now the travel and all of that's not great. So Liverpool now won't be able to use their player because if he was allowed to have a couple more hours or a few more hours to recover, he'd be fine. It's not good though, Jim.
It's not good. It's not great. But the issue you've got is you want to be on the televised ones, don't you? Obviously, in Liverpool, a big club, so done. I don't know how they determine who's on at 12:30 and who's on at 5:30. I don't know how they come to this conclusion. So
they don't. They just fucking pick Liverpool.
It's Liverpool versus whoever, which is fine. But and I guess it's a flip side of that is. Don't buy players from South America. It's the same with the African Cup of Nations. If you're buying African players, you're going into the African Cup of Nations every January. Now, I know that's a bit of a flippant comment, but you've got to take these things into considerations when you're buying players, surely. That's why I don't think you're seeing as many African players coming into the Premier League, because one, we didn't really have the winter break like a lot of the European leagues have. We do now, and I don't know if that's going to continue this year. I think it probably will. But you've got that impact of the African Cup of Nations, and it's is it every 2 years? I can't remember which one it is, but it's relatively, Salah goes and comes back goosed every time he comes back. And you had the same with Mane when he used to go. So it's unfortunately that's it. That's the way that the world is, isn't it?
Let's be honest.
It is eating itself. And the issue you got is the clubs have their own, clubs will plead this insanity of, you're flogging our players to death, but they'll cut pre-season short or the players' holiday short because they've got to go do a tour of Asia to make a load of money to buy the players that they want. So you can't have it both ways, can you? You can't go, let your players have the summer off and just bring them back for the Premier League. But no, you got to go tour America and Asia to get the money in and bring these players in, and they have to go. And it swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Fergie had it right. His players always used to get mysteriously injured just before international breaks. Exactly, Fergie didn't get a lot wrong, did he? No. Tank, I want to get your opinion on this Henderson stuff. Obviously, he's had a lot of spotlight put on him because of his move over to Saudi, his stance. We've tried to have this conversation before, Tank, and
Are you sure he's the right person to ask about this?
No, I steered the conversation because I do want him to answer it, but maybe
get
just
Brian back in,
water it down from the last version that we recorded, and it never saw the light of day. So, first of all, what do you make of the England fans booing Henderson? Do you think it's fair? It was interesting to see Harry Maguire come out in his defence this week.
He's busting Harry Maguire. Takes
the shine off him.
Harry Maguire's family's in the thing. He's shouting Endo's homophobe. He's doing it. Look, it's one of the lads. It's fucking. Do you know what does my head in? Like, is you've got like fucking David Beckham, who's now an ambassador for the Saudi Arabia World Cup bid and all that. Henderson's just a scapegoat for the whole thing. He's 32. He's been told by Klopp that he's not going to be a key figure all season. He's not going to be a starter. So he's chosen an option to go and live in a country where it's fucking lovely, roasting all the time, and getting paid an absolute insane amount of money. What's the problem with it? How come Benzema, fucking Firmino, all of these other superstars who've gone over there to line the pockets, why are they getting all of this spotlight and abuse and all of that? And I know you're going to say, Gerrard, there's another one, yeah, Gerrard. Look in the Wolves lad, the midfielder who's in the peak of his career. Can't think of his name. He went over. No one's on about him. The one who was linked with Liverpool, the Portuguese lad?
Neves.
Yeah. Unbelievable player. In the peak of his Premier League career, I'm going to Saudi to earn 300 grand a week. Man, none of them have been like put under the spotlight. So I just think it's a load of bollocks from fucking idiot football fans.
What do you make of it, Jim?
I think he's fair game. I do. Yeah, I think you can't stand up. I said this before. You can't actively stand up for something. So there's two issues I've got with Jordan Henderson is you can't actively stand up for something and then decide to go. Well, you can, and that's fine. But I still think you've got to try.
Is that it, Jim? Is it the change of stance?
So it's not the change of stance. I think you can still have the same beliefs.
I don't think it's a change of stance, Jim.
It's not. I'm not saying it is. He's not changed his stance. He's not changed. He's still got the same beliefs, but he's still got to be vocal about it for me if he wants to be. Like if he wants to kill, and that doesn't necessarily mean over there, but I think he's still got to, show his face around whatever it is he was doing, whether that's the LGBTQ plus community and all that side of it. The other thing for me that really grinds my gears with Jordan Henderson is he keeps saying he's not gone to Saudi for the money, he's gone to better football. Like, come off it, Jordan. Like, stop being a dick and say what you're actually gone for. You're gone for the cold, hard cash.
So was Ronaldo, Jimmy. Ronaldo's there to say, I've come here to change football. Not the fact that he's getting paid 800 grand a week net. That doesn't count.
But Ronaldo was making... The issue is the dispatch. Ronaldo was making stupid money anyway, wasn't he? Henderson wasn't making ridiculous money. Now he is. So I can understand Ronaldo saying it because although he was getting stupid money anyway, and he's the biggest sports world star in the world. So it's a bit different. And this is why the issue is he's the only player that is English and gone from here as an English player from what I know anyway, or an England international that he's currently gone. So I think it's fair enough, and he's just got to be big enough and go. And I would respect him more if I think people would too if he just turned around and went, you know what, I still stand for what I believe in, but I am here for the money. There's enough players that have done it, haven't they? And they've not been kicked out or lambasted.
Do you know who's played the blinder, Tank?
Neymar.
Well, do you know who's played the blinder? AC Milan. Selling Tonali before all this kicked off, getting 55 million quid. Say nothing, right? And he's on the cusp of a worldwide football ban. I mean, like, I tell you what, talk about timing. Is there a conversation though? I mean, you've seen the Ivan Toney case. You would be fond of a flutter when it comes to the horses. I mean, you've been again around football dressing rooms. It doesn't take long to be following football and see advertising for various different gambling things. Is there a conversation that needs to be had for young footballers getting a shitload of dough and they don't know what to do with it, and then all of a sudden, they're seeing ads left, right, and centre, and how they can bet on this and bet on that, and is there a broader conversation here around trying to look after young footballers and the decisions that they make?
No. You're your own person. I'm not being funny. Like, what about all of the alcohol stuff and drinks and all that palaver and the advertisements for that? Does more damage than anything. Smoking does more damage than anything. We constantly promote The UK's got one of the worst obesity rates in the world, and we're constantly promoting McDonald's and Burger King and Kentucky Fried Chicken and Pizza Hut and all of that. It's like there's got to be some stage in your life where you've got to take responsibility for what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, at the minute, I own racehorses, and I love a bet on my racehorses, but it's like the British government now are really homing in on the KYC, and you can only spend so much and you can only deposit so much. What's got fuck all to do with the British government? What I want to have a bet on one of my horses. Literally got nothing to do. But I can go and spend fucking 10 grand in Costco or whatever and get myself a load of booze and sit and drink myself to death. Or I can go and eat myself to death, or, smoke myself to death. There's no issues with that. So it's one of them. And listen, you're going to get me started in the FA because I put a tweet out yesterday and I deleted it quite quickly. RFA are a fucking disgrace. They're a fucking disgrace. I got dragged into a court case, and I'm not going to name the manager of a League One club for his blatant lies. The FA have got this is.
By the way, when you talk in code, I have absolutely no faith in you talking in code, and that you'll just something's going to come out.
This is factual. This was in a court case. There's a League One manager who's actively in League One managing right this minute, who told a pack of lies, got me arrested, and I had to go to court over this. And then I got throughout the court because his pack of lies crumbled. The FA have got factual evidence which was presented to the court by the police that this manager was gambling on football matches for a long period of time. And he's allowed to manage this as all, brush this under the carpet. His mental health might be affected here. But then Ivan Toney and the Toffolo of Forest and other players are getting massive bans, a massive fine. So
where's the consistency?
Where's the consistency in this? Do you know what I mean? This rodent of a manager, because that's what he is. Dragged me through court for 2 years.
I thought we'd moved on there, and I was like, oh, we've done all right.
It cost me £80,000 in his lies, and then his mental health kicked in, and he decided that because he was fucked because of his lies. So there's got to be some sort of consistency here. So the FA are hitting all of these players. If I was the players, I'd be going, because everyone knows about him. Everyone knows what he is and what he's done in the game. Everybody knows. So why aren't these players going, I ain't paying a fucking thing to you until this comes out? Or is it one rule for one? Is it the high profile you are, the harder you get hit? If you're just a little shit manager of a League One club, you carry on, you bet away, you gamble away. So there's got to be some sort of consistency in it.
You haven't had the best of time with the FA over the years, have you?
No, because
you ever thought it might be you?
Graham, the Arlas who got sacked out of it, up in about £10 million worth of artwork. Strange.
So I picked. See the way I pick who I ask the questions to here. I know this dance. So the couple of things I want to finish on, right, before we wrap up. I'm going to stay with you on this one, Tank, because we get asked a lot of questions just on Forest, obviously, and your Forest connection. 3 defeats in 8 games. On paper, very solid start, I would say, from Forest, and with a game against Luton coming up at the weekend. What would you say the mood's like amongst the fans, and how have you kind of judged, I guess, the start that they've made?
I think it's been a phenomenal start. I'm being honest with you. I can't remember the team, but I tweeted a couple of weeks. Forest's first 6 games. You were
calling conspiracy theories and everything at the start of the season when the fixtures were given out.
Yeah, they had Chelsea away, Arsenal away, Man City away, and Man United away in the first 6 games. Come on, fucking hell! Who's doing that? And I just think I watch Forest now, and they're a totally different team from last season. They're in control of games. Do you know what I mean? They're actually looking now where I watched them last season, and you kind of like sitting there thinking, fucking hell, just hang on. They were clinging on to games and hoping that you just nick a goal or get a result. Now I'm watching them, and, they're actually, they're dictating playing games. Like I watched them against Palace, and it was all Forest at the ball, where last season it was the total opposite. You go away from home and you just cling on for dear life and hope that one of the front men do something. And I love Forest front three. I honestly love Forest front three. I think what the manager's done has been brilliant. They've got big money in for Brennan Johnson, who's a really good player, and but they've got Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea for like 3 million. Lads, he was going to Bayern Munich for 50 million 2 seasons ago. Got an injury, lost his way a bit, but he's looking sharp. The lad who can't say his name, fuck me, the one who's at Liverpool, the big they got him from Germany, Tower Y.
A1E. A1E.
Terry.
That's him. Now, he's looking a right threat all the time now. His form from last season to this season's carried on. And they got Alanga on the other wing. I think they're a big threat. I think they're a real good threat going forward.
And Gibbs White loading a gun. Yeah. It's interesting when you look at Forest, and I think you got to give a lot of credit to the club for sticking with the manager, because the vultures were circling for a little bit, and the club were very, very strong in batting that one away right through, and you can see the players have totally bought into the manager. Anyone that's been coached by him in any type of circumstances spoke very well of him. So it's good. It's good to see that they're in a good place. Lads, I want to finish on something that's not football related, because it's International Week, right? I'm going to do quick fire, get to know Jimmy and Tank.
Well, you got to answer as well, lad. You can't.
All right.
Everyone wants to know you too.
Let's see how it pans out.
I'll be honest. I've got a new. We had a new subscriber from a lad at work, and he said he liked you a lot. Jamie said you were his favourite.
I'll take that. Yeah, but my job is to compare. I'm just trying to rub you two up the wrong way. So
you can rub me up any way you want, my mate.
Wouldn't be the first time. So, Jimbo, you're first. So I've got 10 questions for you.
Yeah.
I might blend it a little bit as we go, but we'll start.
So, 10. That's R4. You've got to get back to work.
I know. Right, let's fire through. Right, Jimmy, texting or talking?
Texting.
Favorite day of the week and why?
Oh,
quick fire, Jimbo. Yeah,
I know. Sorry,
the whole point of quick fire.
Friday. Because it's not Saturday. You've got the dread of Sunday that you got Monday around the corner. Whereas Friday, you've just got 2 whole days of you've got it coming in to chill. So Fridays. Do
you know, randomly, I like Sundays. I like Sunday. I like a Sunday pint. All my fucking dad jobs have been done throughout the week, and there's like a common understanding. Just let dad chill today because he's been running around like a madman for the last 6 days. So I always like a nice drink on a Sunday and a bit of food. What about you, Tank?
Am I going on these questions?
Yeah, just blending this a little bit.
Be on your toes, son.
To be honest with you, I'm with you on a Sunday because, with Jack, I'm traveling not on a Saturday, could be away, God knows anywhere. But on a Sunday, it's just kind of like my day.
Chill.
It's just like chill, don't move, don't do anything, sit and watch sport all day, horse racing, done.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Jimbo, nickname your parents used to give you?
So my nickname from school is Giggsy. So my mum used to call it me as well. So
was that because of Ryan Giggs?
Yes. When I moved from Nottingham to Stoke-on-Trent, I was a Man United fan at the time, and I had Giggs on the back of my shirt.
You're some knobhead. You've got more clubs than Tiger Woods. It's ridiculous.
I know. And then so he had so I had Giggs on the back of my shirt. So everyone didn't know my name, so they just called me Giggs, and it stuck forever.
Favorite holiday?
Is it in type or place?
You pick.
Well, type is chilling. We're not an adventurous family. We like because we work hard.
Your missus loves to do. She's always like setting challenges, and she loves competitions and all that.
Yeah, that's not adventure though.
It's the school teacher in it.
Yeah, I mean, we love a family holiday to Centre Parks. All the competition, tournaments, table tennis, shuffleboard, all that sort of stuff. So that's my favourite. And then boozing on the night. So
you just have to remortgage your house to go to Centre Parks.
Yeah, exactly.
How long does it take you to get ready? Bear in mind, I know the answer to this question.
It's a while. It's a lot less than it used to be, I'll be honest.
Hair's going thin now, so
hair's going thin. So I'll give it, and I don't straighten it as much. So half an hour.
Okay. Who inspires you?
No one. Honestly, I'm in. At the minute, the only thing I've got is my kids. My kids are they make me want to do anything, but I've always been uninspirable. I just meander through life. If I had any inspiration, mate, I could be president of some sort of bloody
if you actually applied yourself to anything properly,
I'd be. I'm.
I've said this a million times before, Jimmy, and I've played with some good players over the years, like the likes of Leighton Baines and all that. And Jimmy was the best natural footballer I've played with, but he had a sieve for brains in that he just didn't give a shit. Did not give a shit. And he used to wind me up so much because you just get him the odd day where he gave a shit. And like it was like fucking art, but then he'd just go get in a sulk about something, and he's fuck's sake. Okay, sorry, I'm not
It's
making
all
this quick fire. Have you ever stolen anything?
Yes, Hubba Bubba from the shop, and they had a rip in me shell suit. And you remember when the shell suit trackies, you'd have the white sort of thing behind it, and you'd have the shell suit at the front, and then you'd have the lining. So I hid it in the bottom part of that, thinking it was safe. It had the shell suit and the lining. It was like in like a pocket. As soon as I walked through the door, it fell out the trouser, and then my mum dragged me down to the shop and absolutely battered me.
Oh Jesus! Favorite childhood TV show? Quick fire, you nuggets! Fucking
mate, you're asking me questions.
It's gonna be my favorite day, Sunday. By the time you finish this,
turtles.
Good lad. And then, how often is it healthy to cry? Bear in mind, you've had a swinging brick of a heart for the last however long I've known you, but I reckon you might be getting there now.
No, honestly, I cry every day.
Fuck off.
I swear to God.
No, you don't.
Like, on my kids' life,
you cry every day.
Near enough. If I watch enough videos, I'll find something that'll make me cry. Anything about dads, obviously I've got massive dad issues, so anything about dads make me want to cry. Like anything about kids, I start crying. I cry at every single Disney film.
That's a big statement, though, Tank, isn't it? He cries every day.
Yeah. All right, maybe not. I can cry every day.
You have the ability to cry every day.
Yeah. If you want a numerical, maybe once a week, but it can be a lot.
6 days crying off. You can't just stop 6 days. I cry every day. If you want numerical, once a week.
All right, I have the ability to cry every day. Then
okay, we'll go with that. Jimbo, I feel like I know you much better now. Thank you for that. Tank, you're up. And I've strategically placed some of these in here for him as well, because I'm interested to know his answers. First celebrity crush.
Oh. Fucking hell, mate. Cameron Diaz.
Oh, you like a bit of Cameron, do you?
Yeah. Not bad, Cameron. Not wrong. She's a bit of a moose now.
What?
So that's like that thing on fucking Soccer AM, that, you know, when the dead fit bird used to come out the thing, and then the lad would be like, "Sorry, love, you just stopped my time." Yeah. If you could travel back in time, where would you go?
I'd go to Gillingham away and not go in for that tackle that snapped me knee. Wow, lad.
Yeah, you could have been at Liverpool then, couldn't you? That was it. You were on the verge of Liverpool then, wasn't it?
So I'll just go back to that and just like, come here, son.
Yeah, good decision. So funny, I'm asking you this after your rant before. Favorite junk food?
I'm not a big junk
all
food.
of them looking at you.
I like a real nice Indian. I love an Indian.
Do you go super spicy?
No, fucking hell, mate. You're joking, aren't you? Korma at best.
Oh, what? That's not an Indian. Fuck off.
You might have a bloody milkshake, lad. I can't talk. I only have a butter chicken pal.
I've got a madras in me, to be fair. Who has it easier, men or women? Jesus, I did think about whether to fuck's sake. Thinking of what his answer could be is probably going to be funny.
This is going to be. I'm just going to say, do you know what? For the avoidance of controversy, I'm just going to say, fucking women.
Why can't we tickle ourselves? It's not a question. I just wanted to get your response because I didn't know that we actually can't tickle ourselves. I never realised.
Surely.
Did you know it's coming?
Yeah,
you know it's coming. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, a bit of a deep one, Tank. What does a person need to be happy?
Family.
Got it in one.
Love that one. This is
so
a
what
very.
You're saying, if you're loner, you can't be happy.
No, I didn't mention anything about anyone being alone. He's asking me a quick question, and I'm happiest when I've got my kids.
Stop stirring, Jim. Stop stirring. Say good day, mate, in an Australian accent.
Bye.
Fuck's sake. What's your middle name?
I haven't got one. I've got a confirmation. It's not a middle name, is it?
Okay, what was your confirmation name?
George, after my old man.
Go on. Last two. What was the best age of your life? And I'll ask you that as well, Jim, once he's give his.
20. It was 20 when, 20. 19. Just got promoted to the Premier League. Young kid, on top of the world. Got relegated, which was a bit shit, but it was like some age.
Yeah, you were winning at life at that point.
Life was winning non-stop.
Jimbo?
I'd say 19, 20, mate. Uni, not a care in the world. Money, playing footy with me mates. No issues, nothing. Didn't give a shit about uni, so wasn't doing any work. It was class.
playing FIFA all day.
Playing FIFA, well, Pro Evo it was then. Pro Evo, boozing, footy with the boys.
That's still about Jimmy Pro Evo.
You what, mate?
That's never been a computer thing, have I? Is that still about? Is it
it's
still?
Not Pro. It's called something else, but it's not. It is about it, but it's not Pro Evo. It's called something. I can't remember what it's called. Pro.
My mum will go mad here because she'd be listening, right? But what we used to do, Tank, like, so you'd be like, oh, we'll have a quick game of FIFA or Pro Evo before uni. So you'd be like, oh, you'd have a game, and then the rule was if you won a game, you had to give the person the chance to win the game back. So you'd end up having another game. But then if you drew, then you needed the decider. So then you're like 3 games in, you've missed your lecture and like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then, the last one to finish on, Tank, is what noise does a seal make?
Oh.
That was like a clown's horn, wasn't it? That was all right, yeah. Lads, I just wanted to throw that in just for a bit of crack. I enjoyed that. That was good. Right, everybody at home, I hope you enjoyed that too. Hope you're all looking after yourselves. Thank you for all the messages that you've been sending us, asking us where the hell we are. And, we are. You're dying to show your plums off here.
I sat the whole podcast listening. Number 1
Go on, Brian.
He loves Jimmy. Brian does.
I might use Brian as the podcast image for this week, just not the one with Tank's plums strategically placed either side of him. Everybody, thank you for your support. As I was going to say there, you sent us loads of messages this week saying where the hell are we? So we made sure that we got a podcast out this week. So I hope you enjoyed it. Keep your support coming. If you could share the podcast or tell someone that you haven't told already about the podcast, give us a follow, a like, and all that good stuff. It would be much appreciated. But most importantly, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll hopefully, if the lads can sort the shit out, be back with you next week, usual time on the Boot Room podcast. All the best.
Cheers, boys.